both teams are entering the court on a high note from their previous match. The Criss King Crunchers remain undefeated and dominate the top spot, but the UST-GAMEVILLE Spikers prove that they are ready to break that perfect record. Now it's a matter of who wants to win more and how they will show it in today's game. But for now, I am your correspondent. My name is Ellery Gudo, and this is the 2025 Invitationals Conference, where power meets passion, Spikers Turf.
We welcome you back inside the Paco Arena in Manila City for the continuation of your 2025 Spikers Turf Invitational Conference as we take a look at Josh Ibanez and the UST-GAMEVILLE Golden Spikers going up against the CRISS King Crunchers. Thank you so much for joining us over on One Sports, on One Sports Plus, and on Pilipinas Live. We present to you our matches for today. Earlier this morning, the FEU Tamaraos winning over VNS in straight sets. And then now we will have CRISS versus UST in a couple more matches happening later today. Once again, we welcome you all to our coverage here on Signal. Dip Bianco alongside Neil Flores. Neil, we're now at the penultimate day of elimination round here in our tournament. And some teams are already through to the semifinals, but of course, UST, they want to seal that ticket with a win today against CRISS.
We are down to the last few games, and teams are still scrambling to get more wins in the first preliminary round so that they can get through to the next round. Only CRISS is through, na sigurado na. UST's potential win today will solidify their spot in the top 4, but there are a couple of teams that are still in the running towards the next round. We still have the Savage Spin Doctors, the Signal Super Spikers, and the Alpha Insurance Protectors. And as you can see, CRISS is the only undefeated team. They barely escaped FEU in their last game. And as for the UST-GAMEVILLE Golden Spikers, they're coming off a high. And that is just an understatement because they just won against the powerhouse team in the Signal Super Spikers.
I'm sure it was an ecstatic win for the UST-GAMEVILLE Golden Spikers, having defeated the Signal Super Spikers in just 4 sets. We'll talk about that game later on, pero unahin natin yung laban ng CRISS versus FEU. It was a grind-out 5-setter, Neil. Let's talk about that match. What did you see there? Until the end, it was close, 17-15 in the 5th set.
It really boiled down to the last 2 points. If you're going to dissect the scoring figures of both teams, FEU actually did better. If you tally the attacking, blocking, and serving points, mas marami silang nakuha. It's just that they really committed so many errors. 32 unforced errors against the 18 of CRISS. So CRISS really played clean. And in that last 2 points, we really saw the steady serving of Francis Saura, and he definitely helped CRISS escape FEU in that 5-set match.
And that's something that CRISS has done well this Invitational Conference. Really limit their errors, almost playing to perfection in our tournament. Let's bring in our key player, Noel Campton, who has had back-to-back POG awards in our tournament, fresh from his stint in LaSalle, now a crunch man for Coach Ty Bundit.
Well, it was a familiar foe for Noel Campton. He went up against these players during his collegiate years. So familiar territory talaga for him. That's why I guess it was very comfortable for him to play really well against the FEU-DN Steel Spikers. 22 points, built off 50% passing efficiency as well. You can really see the improvement of Noel in that aspect of his game. There was a time in his career that he was being targeted by the servers of the other teams, but now look at him receiving really well for CRISS.
Yeah, so much improvement from Noel Campton. I always look forward to his interviews as well pagkatapos ng laro, because he gets to be vulnerable and honest about what he thinks he needs to improve on, and he has shown that in the past couple of games. Pag-usapan naman natin ang UST-GAMEVILLE Golden Spikers, who again defeated the Signal Super Spikers in 4 sets. I don't know if anyone expected that, Neil, but it's been a while since Signal dropped a game against a collegiate team. It was a couple of years ago, but UST doing that just the other day.
I feel like UST is really a strong team. I mean, don't get me wrong, Signal is a powerhouse team. The odds were in their favor. It's just that they had a difficult time in getting those attack points the defense of UST was terrific during that game.
Yeah.
61 attacks for the Golden Spikers, only 48 for Signal. That was the most surprising stat line for me because pag pinag-uusapan natin ng Signal, they're always in the top of the standings when it comes to the attacking department. So they lacked in that aspect. Also in the blocking, they fell behind. 13 kill blocks for UST, only 6 for the Super Spikers. And when you take a look at the height difference, lamang na lamang yung Signal.
Yeah.
And it was a well-fought game definitely for UST.
Huge disparity in those categories. The only problem of UST that time was their errors. And the guy that led them to that win was JJ Makam, who scored 18 points. Talk about him, Neil, in this performance against Signal.
54% attacking efficiency, and he was also Season 87 Rookie of the Year in the UAAP. And he's proving to be one of the best options for Coach Oji Mamon. And they have a deep lineup when it comes to that outside hitter position. They still have G-Boy De Vega, but he has cemented his place in the starting unit. So we are expecting him to have a breakout game again today against CRISS.
Na malalim yung bench ni Coach Oji Mamon, so we'll see how he will perform in this match today as we, of course, ask our viewers to engage over on social media. Just use the hashtag SpikersTurf 2025. Message us on X and other social media platforms to join us in our conversation here in our Spikers Turf Invitational Conference as we turn you now over to the arena announcer for the start of this match.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The action continues inside here, Paco Arena in Manila for your Spikers Turf Invitational Conference 2025, where power meets passion. It's match number 20 in the preliminary round, and our contenders for this match are none other than your Crisscross King Crunchers. And their challengers across the net, the University of Santo Tomas Golden Spikers. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you our officials for this match. Your first referee, Mr. Fernando Velarde, National Referee. And your second referee, Mr. Joffer Educado, National Referee. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to meet your starters. First, from the Crisscross King Crunchers. Let's call onto court outside hitter number 2, Ja Requinton. Opposite hitter number 5, Jude Garcia. Setter number 9, Adrian Villados. Middle blocker number 12, Francis Saura. Outside hitter number 19, Noel Campton. Middle blocker number 24, Edlin Colinares. And their starting libero at number 18, Bits Pepito. Head coach for the Crisscross King Crunchers is Ty Bundit. And now let's meet the starters for the challengers across the net, your UST Golden Spikers. Let's call onto court team captain and setter number 7, Dax Yambao. Outside hitter number 5, Max Makam. Opposite hitter number 6, Al-Bukhari Sali. Outside hitter number 13, Josh Ibanez. Middle blocker number 14, Trevor Valera. Middle blocker number 18, Ryvin Katinsag. And their starting libero at number 12, Adrian Alabar. Head coach for UST is Oji Mamon.
Check out the starters for the Crisscross King Crunchers: Garcia, Colinares, Requinton, Campton, Saura, Villados, and Pepito as their libero. Meanwhile, for the Gameville Golden Spikers, Sally, Katinsag, Ibanez, Makam, Valera, Yambao, and Alabar. as their libero. We're all set for the matchup between Crisscross King Crunchers and the UST-Gameville Golden Spikers right here on One Sports, on One Sports Plus, and on Pilipinas Live. Tip Bianco with Neil Flores. Ella Regudo will give us the reports. At the sidelines, we're in for a treat, Neil. These are the top two teams in our tournament right now. And as we mentioned the story for this one, Crisscross, of course, already through to the semifinals, undefeated. They're protecting that record. Meanwhile, for UST, they want to book a ticket officially with a win today.
Mas kailangan ng UST yung panalo because in a way, this is a non-bearing game already for the King Crunchers. They just really want to play their best heading into the next round of competition. We know that we will be joined by two foreign guest teams, one from Japan and one from Australia. As for UST, they really want to solidify their position in the top four. Ito yung exposure na kailangan ng Golden Spikers. Lalo na nagpe-prepare sila for the UAAP. And I guess matatagalan ulit tayo bago makita si Josh Ibanez as an outside hitter dahil babalik na sila sa Alas Pilipinas for the Southeast Asian Games.
For December, that is. So, February na natin siya ulit makikitang pumalo when the UAAP Season 88 volleyball begins. There was a touch. Crisscross admitting to that. That's a couple of points now for UST. They're coming off a 4-set win against Signal. Josh Ibanez played spectacular in that game, 24 points. But commits a service error for Crisscross King Cruncher's first point of the match. Riquenton with that serve. Doug. Jaron with a chase. Free ball will be given up by Campton. Ducks will choose the middle. And Katinsag is blocked by Preliminaries.
Former Golden Spiker will get his first kill block of the match against his former team. Wapoy Preliminaries one-on-one against Katinsag.
Naninibago siguro siya, no? It's his first time playing against his former team. Alma mater, that is.
Jaron Riquenton is also from UST.
Oh, correct. Although on the beach volleyball side, that's where he played and won multiple championships back in college.
Crisscross is also transitioning to the roster na wala yung Alas Pilipinas players. Kim Malabunga is not in uniform, as well as Echo Adahar. It's only Mark Espejo nasa lineup ngayon. Pero we all know na limited minutes din yung binibigay sa kanya ni Coach Tai because of that elbow injury. On the other hand, you still have Josh Ibanez scoring for UST.
4-2 in set 1. Villado sets up Captain off the block and a point.
Great choice for Noel Campton. Double block was well established from UST Gameville.
22 points for Noel Campton in that win over FEU. Macam is checked. And that is a point for Crisscross. They've tied it up at 4.
Meet me at the top, says Jude Garcia, who is now playing as an opposite hitter.
For all here in the first set as Preliminaries will serve now for Crisscross. Over received and a free ball for Jude Garcia.
Now the King Crunchers will get a 1-point lead of that Jude Garcia hit.
Yambao goes middle again to Valera, but that one is wide. So that's 4 straight points for Crisscross to have a 2-point advantage.
So far, Yambao has been choosing the right attackers. Laging madala single block or delayed block pinaibibigay niya.
Play on here. Second try for UST. Macam off the block.
You will see a lot of hitouts from both CRISS and UST. Both teams are good in blocking.
Five to 6. Villado sets up Saura. Naipalik. Captain will go for it. Nice dig. Malahar and still playable. Ducks. Long rally alert here. Oh, beset. And again, Garcia will take care of it.
The second gift given by UST off the overpass. One was from reception, this time it was from the set. It's 2 quick points for Jude Garcia.
Good activity though from Alabar, able to save those balls. Unfortunately, they couldn't take advantage. Tight set. Macam couldn't do much. Captain is blocked. And a point for UST.
UST is coming off a 13 or 11 block point performance against the Super Spikers. Siguro out of all the skill categories, yun yung pinaka-nakakagulat. Because Signal always dominates the net, not just in attacking but also in terms of net defense.
Yeah, we saw highlights of Josh Ibanez. Siya yung may pinakamaraming blocks dun in that game with 3. Of rather second to Sally who had 4. There's a challenge on the floor. CRISS asking for a block touch. It is a close set number 1, Neelan. What we expected, both teams coming off wins. CRISS trying to stay unblemished here with their record currently sitting at 5 wins and no losses. Meanwhile, UST-GAMEVILLE at 4 wins and 1 loss.
So there are 2 scenarios for UST. They can win this game to get that outright place in the next round, or they can wait dun sa result ng Alpha Insurance Protectors in their next game. Pag natalo ang Alpha Insurance, papasok pa rin ang UST-GAMEVILLE.
Of course, Alpha Insurance still in the running, so they want to get that win over Navy later on. 1-2 works for Villados. And we go to the first technical timeout. CRISS up by 1.
Welcome back. You're still watching the 2025 Invitational Conference here live at the Paco Arena. Now, Dip and Neil, their game against the Signal Super Spikers last time really showed the grit and perseverance of the UST-GAMEVILLE Spikers. And for JJ Macam, he just wants to be ready all the time, no matter who the opponent is. And he added that while basketball was his original sport, he learned to appreciate volleyball more kasi dito niya na-realize yung kanyang potential at kung saan pa siya dadalhin ng paglalaro niya ng volleyball. And it indeed brought him here today at the Spikers Turf Court. Now back to the panel.
Thank you, Ella, for that report. JJ Macam apparently shifted sports. Ikaw rin ba, Neil? Nagganon ka rin?
No.
Pa-shift ka pa lang ata eh. From volleyball to other sports.
Other sports. Basketball siguro.
8-7. Ibanez is rejected by combo of Saura and Villados.
That will be the main key to victory actually for CRISS. They have to be able to put a stop dun sa attacking ni Josh Ibanez because he can really deal heavy damage to your defense system.
9-7. Makam with a good first ball. Oh! Solid one coming from Sally.
That is the reason why he got a call-up for Las Pilipinas. We are really looking for the next big stars in Philippine volleyball.
Set up to Garcia, who breaks the block.
UST Gameville really can't afford to have those small gaps in between the blockers. Dahil mataas na nga yung clearance na palo ni Jude Garcia, malakas pa. You have to tighten that block.
They maintain a 2-point advantage. Sara serving. Ducks goes to Ibanez off the block and out.
Great adjustment from Josh Ibanez. He got rejected the last time. Now he changed his strategy. He's also the one who got that first pass. So essentially, you have two liberos on the floor for UST all the time.
Oh my. Because we saw Josh play that a lot. However, CRISS gets that point. Too far from any golden spiker to chase and save that one. Yambao goes to Sally, another point.
Sari is becoming the second best option for Ducks Yambao, tying the output of Josh Ibanez. They now have 3 points apiece to lead the charge of the Golden Spikers.
Only a 1-point game. Good serve by Ibanez and regalo para kay Katinsag. Tied game at 11.
What a strong jump serve from Josh Ibanez. Mukhang naipon lahat yun. From not being able to hit in the Worlds.
Yeah, I remember when they were on starting lineup ng Coach Oji as Ibanez commenced the service here. We asked Ducks kung nanibago ba siya sa connection niya with Josh. And sabi ni Coach Oji, syempre gigil si Josh na pumalo because ilang months yun of not doing it. Wide and out for Makam. Back-to-back points for CRISS. It's 13-11 in the first set.
JJ Makam was already out of position to go for that power hit. Napatayo si Coach Oji and he was giving instructions na in situations like that, we can just reset and recycle to get a better angle.
That is out. Off the hands of the King Crunchers. Back down to 1. Where you really expected this type of a game, and it is so far following that script. 12-13. Underhand set to Captain. Rejected.
That's a 3-man wall set up by the UST Gameville Golden Spikers. Such an organized blocking system for them. Wala ring dadaanan si Noel Captain, so coverage should be there.
That was Valera getting that point. Villados back sets to Garcia. Defense was there. Saved by CRISS. Play on. Another block, and that is in. Defense on point at the net. But CRISS will challenge for a ball in, ball out.
might be a way to ice the momentum of UST Gameville. Everybody saw that it grazed the line.
Yeah. It was fast, but it did look like it was inside. As we are halfway through the first set, UST threatening to take the lead over the #1 team in our Invitational Conference. Again, this is our second to the last day of eliminations. We have one final game day on Sunday before we go to the semis and meet the two foreign guest teams.
The two foreign guest teams are Pro Volley Academy of Australia and Kinda University of Japan.
Like the diversity there of having teams from other countries. Oh, how many times has Jude Garcia had a gift? Parang nakailan na, hindi pa December, ah.
Third time's the charm. Parang namamagnetize yung bola papunta kay Jude Garcia. And UST commits an overpass.
Nagawan ng paraan ni Sally.
Quick thinking from Sally. And the fact that he's a very tall player.
Yeah.
And mataas din tumalon. Dami niyang options when he's up in the air.
Back to a one-point game. UST up 15-14. Captain. Too long. And UST will take us to the second technical timeout. They're up by 2.
Siyempre, top 1 ko, setter, si Kuya Owa. Kasi siyempre, ina-idolize ng mga setter. Number 2 ko, si Kuya Brian. Siyempre, sino bang di mag-idol kay Kuya Brian? Si Kuya Brian Bagunas na yun eh. Pangatlo, si Kuya Mark Espeo. Pangapat ko si Josh. Siyempre, teammate ko, best libero. And last, si Kuya Jao. Isa sa seniors namin sa UST. And maganda din yung impact niya sa volleyball ko.
Back inside the Paco Arena in Manila City for your 2025 Spikers Turf Invitational Conference. Naksiambao and his selection of players in his first 6. But right now he continues to play alongside his teammates and maintain this 2-point lead. Garcia gets the point.
Exclamation point from Jude Garcia, just silencing the momentum of UST Gameville.
5 players lang pala yung pinili ni Dax. Siya na yung 60. Matic na yan. Oh, what a serve. And that will go into the stands. An ace for Jude Garcia in MVP form. 3-time in the Spikers Turf, and he is leading the way for the King Crunchers.
They're mirroring the performance of each other. That's the 7th point of Jude Garcia. Both teams are serving strong. Both teams also have established blocking patterns up front. Make that back-to-back service aces for Jude Garcia now with point number 8.
And 3 straight points for CRISS to overtake, which is why UST calls for time.
Dito ka na tina-target. Kaya nga nilagay ito sa panel na yon. Okay? Pwede kang ilabas yung katawan, braso mo sa loob. Hindi the other way around. Tataskan dito, masasyang ka. Kaya mo yung dalawang kumuha doon. Ito, yung panel na yan, 1.5 meters lang yan. Kailangan sa'yo, okay?
Specific instructions there from Coach Oji. He wants JJ Macam to focus on his panel or his zone malit lang din yung zone na binibigay because Jude Garcia is targeting that corner pocket.
Yeah.
So he has to commit to that because he has a lot of support from their libero in Alabar and Josh Ibanez. So hindi niya na kailangan alalahanin yung nasa right side niya. All he has to do is put his hands forward and try to absorb that Garcia serve.
At yun, nagawa niya doon. And he goes for the attack. Garcia with the pickup. Campton attacks. That doesn't go over. A good timeout by Coach Oji Mamon to instruct Macam, and he delivered right after.
That's the response that you want to get from your players. Pag nabigyan ng instructions, roll out agad the following play. Instant break point for
Yeah.
UST Gameville.
And we are tied once again at 17. Ooh. Way out for Macam. (18-17), Campton on deck. Ducks trying to make do with that. Garcia, it is out. No touch. Another deadlock here in the first set. Ooh, solid. Solid hit from Francis Saura. And his teammates enjoying that.
Coach Tai has been using Francis Saura as an opposite spiker sa mga nakaraang conference. But we all know that he's a skilled middle blocker from his NU days pa lang. Kaya maganda na ibinilik niya si Francis Saura because they have a lot of options in the wings. You still have Nico Almendras waiting there. Isay Marasigan, Mark Espejo. Ang dami.
Deep bench as well for Coach Tai Bundit. Oh, nobody home to challenge that attack of Jude Garcia, and he'll take that any day.
That is the biggest mistake that you can commit against Jude Garcia. He's almost in double digits. And even if Alabar was in possession, ang hirap basahin pag open block. Lalo na ang daming pwedeng papuntahan ng bola.
Yampao. Ibanez with a soft touch. Preliminaries gets the second ball. Riquinton is red. Free ball. Set up here for UST. Sally is blocked.
He got bothered by the block of Colinares. Wanted to go line, but Jaron Riquinton was well positioned there.
Nakaabang yung former players of UST. Alabar, underhand set to Ibanez, who couldn't keep it in play. And just like that, it's a 3-point lead for Criss. UST calls their final timeout.
Options mo, recycle pa check ball. Yung gusto mo malakas na iwas sa blocker.
At nasa mali ko na yun. Malayo? Mali ko na yun.
Okay, pag na-side out natin to, target nyo, Jeron. Hit the target, hindi nang uhula o kaya pinagdadasal nyo na pumasok yung bola nyo. Hindi. Hit the target.
Yeah, pass muna tayo maganda. Pass ako.
Maganda.
You will hear that a lot from Coach Oji Mamon, lalo na he is also part of the coaching staff of Alas Pilipinas. So he has witnessed how the best teams in the world play.
Yeah.
You will hear the word recycle a lot. We've seen that in the World Championships. If the set is not optimal, the attackers would always try to go for a soft rebound para bumalik sa kanila yung bola ng magaan. Or they would just rely on their defense para makapuntos. So it's not about forcing the issue, but now they've been having problems also in service reception.
Yeah, Navarre couldn't get that one. An ace, courtesy of Villados. Criss trying to run away late in set number 1. They are 2 points away from taking it. Better first ball. Sally off the block. Too strong of a hit that it wouldn't kept inside a point for UST.
That was the angle that Coach Oji Mamon asked for in that last timeout.
Down by 3. Oh, and that's a free ball for Katinsag. You see how Ibanez changed up his serve there.
It confused the receivers of CRISS, forcing that overpass.
Put a lot of spin on that, and Katinsag does the rest. Back-to-back points to cut the lead down to 2. Oh, but right after gets the service error, which puts the King Crunchers at set point. Requinton will serve for the set. Ducks chooses Macam, and that is still a point.
The hit outs have been the go-to play for the Golden Spikers. Now there's a substitution for the yellow shirts. Hernandez will replace Katinsag. Will play the sweeper role in their defense pattern.
.22 serving 24. Oh, but that is out. That happens. Coming off the bench, still cold. Pressure-packed moment there to keep the set for them, but CRISS will take it. 25 to 22 will see that last point there. Just went out. We'll show the numbers and talk more about set 1 when we come back after the break. Back inside the Paco Arena in Manila City for 2025 Spikers Turf Invitational Conference. You'll see the highlights in the first set. It was close up until that latter part in set number 1. Neil, CRISS, they took over. I remember the score was 16 to 14. Namang pa yung UST nung second technical timeout, but suddenly things changed and CRISS took set 1.
It boiled down to the ball control of both teams. Doon nagkatalo in the tail end of set number 1. UST-GAMEVILLE had a couple of issues in reception. That's why nakakuha ng 3 puntos yung CRISS in the serving department. But UST had more numbers in attacking, 13 compared to the 10. They had more errors. And as a team, they are prone to errors. Mas marami sila nagiging errors compared to their opponents usually. Now, offset lang yun dun sa scoring categories. But in the second set, primary issue would be ball control. They can't allow CRISS to get those no-touch aces because there's a different kind of confidence given to a certain player pag hindi nahahawakan yung serves niya on the floor.
That was a major turning point in the first set. Those aces delivered by Jude Garcia, I think, changed the momentum, and then CRISS just took advantage. And you mentioned the errors of UST. That was their Waterloo in their match against the Signal Super Spikers. Despite, well, they won that in 4 sets, but they gave up 38 errors in total. But as you mentioned, other departments worked well for them, attacking and blocking. But they need to do more if they want to get this against the King Crunchers, who are still undefeated in our tournament. Set 2 underway. Thank you once again for joining us over on One Sports Plus, and on Pilipinas Live with Pipianco with Neil Flores. El Regudo will continue to give us reports, and Riquenton gets us going.
Coach Tai is utilizing the versatility of the players on the floor. Jared Requenton hit from the right side. Jude Garcia was on the left. Pwede sila magpalitan. We've seen that time and time again in the Spikers turf. It's another great start for Chris Cross.
You saw the frustration from Trevor Valera stomping his foot after that went wide. Two nothing to start. Yung Bao will go to Macam this time on the cross court. Nadaanan yung blockers.
Third point for JJ Macam. That will be good for his confidence.
Yeah, right in between. Captain off speed. Alabar getting a touch again, but
that was the right choice for Josh Ibanez. That was the soft rebound na sinasabi ko para ma-recycle nila yung bola, but they weren't able to put that ball up from their coverage. Kaya nangihinayang si Coach Oji kasi nasunod yung game plan eh.
Yeah. And he had a few instructions kay Yambao. That one was rejected by Jude Garcia. Meeting Josh Ibanez upstairs. The joust. Timeout, UST.
Eh, pang-apat na eh.
Dax, ituloy mo. Kung anong napag-usapan natin. Bawi agad. Okay lang. Start pa lang yan.
Setting instructions naman ang binigay ni Coach Oji and Josh kay Doc Siambao. Looks like may design plan na sila, and sometimes pag hindi perfect yung pasa, may tendency na baguhin ng setter yung set. But Josh wants that fast shoot set kahit ano pa mang mangyari. So pag mayroon na pag-usapan, he really wants na masunod yun. And he thrives in low sets compared to the high ones.
Tignan natin kung mag-a-adjust sila dito. But again, they couldn't convert. Another attack error for UST, this time from Sally. At magpapalit ng setter si Coach Oji Mamon, bringing in Joshua Avila for Daxiambao. It hasn't been a good start for UST, down by 4 early in set number 2. UST finally breaking the cold spell.
That's the reason why you have 2 setters in the lineup. Pag kailangan ng breather or kailangan makakita ng different perspective of the game, yung first setter, the second setter comes in to change the tempo.
Garcia. Saved by Macam. Ibanez asking for a check. Chris Cross denying. Our first referee says there was a touch. Will Chris Cross challenge? Yes, they do.
Josh Ibanez wanted to go over the block of Francis Saura, but Francis Saura is saying that there was no block touch.
So point was initially given to UST. There was a check ball as the ball sailed out. But CRISS saying hindi nila na tamaan. So they're challenging for a block touch. Tignan natin yun. Was there? Ooh. Close spot. It looked clean.
It was
upstairs.
the shadow of the ball.
So a successful challenge for the King Crunchers. Back to a 4-point lead. Avila goes middle. It's a number of errors now in the attacking department for UST.
Avila gave Katinsag a single blocker, but then again, the hit was just too strong.
Attack denied. Good save. But bodies on the floor for UST. And Villados just placing that perfectly.
It's the same ball control issues for the UST Golden Spikers.
And CRISS breezes through to the first technical timeout.
We are all fired up for today's second match live here at the Paco Arena for the 2025 Invitational Conference of Spikers Turf. Now, with a perfect record so far, trust is really essential for this team. And we can see how the Crunchers trust Jude Garcia in this game. Jude shared with me na kaya siya nagsimula maglaro ng volleyball, coming from a different sport as well, ay dahil may coach na nagtiwala sa kanya. Kaya ngayon, he also values the trust given to him. He added that even if he did not pursue volleyball, he would like to teach sports and give that same belief he received from his coach and teammates to new and young athletes. Now back to you, Deep and Neil.
Thank you, Ella, for that report. Well, we know Jude Garcia is also an assistant coach. By the way, new season, bigger stories. Aces returns for season 2. Only on the Pilipinas Live app. Download and register now and stream all Pilipinas Live originals anytime and anywhere on any device. That, of course, is hosted by the one and only Alyssa Valdez. If you want to watch and hear great stories from volleyball athletes, do watch that on the Pilipinas Live app. But going back to the report of Ella, si Jude, of course, alam natin nagko-coach din, so he's capable of that. Another point for the King Crunchers.
This is a good lead for CRISS. Trying to build that separation against UST-GAMEVILLE. Ayaw nilang bigyan ng opportunity yung Golden Spikers na mabuhayan in this matchup.
Six-point lead for the King Crunchers, 9-3. Sally with a push. Villados goes middle to Saura. And you mentioned it earlier, Neil. Clocking back to his collegiate days as a middle blocker.
It's a big advantage for CRISS. Francis Saura is such a tall middle blocker. Konting hop pa lang niya in this spike reach. Kaya niya na agad malagpasan yung net defense ng UST. Single blocker, definitely not enough to stop Francis Saura.
So short breather for Dax Yambao. He will check back in for Avila. But this is now a comfortable lead for Chris Cross in set 2. And an ace, courtesy of Noel Captain.
Chris Cross is now pulling away here in the second set.
Makam has had trouble. We saw that in the first set. This is now the biggest lead of Chris Cross in the set and in the match. Captain changing it up, easy pickup. Palabar with underhand set to Ibanez. That's out. But Chris Cross insisting that it was in. They will call for a challenge. Ball in, ball out.
The line judge called that it was outside.
Parang lahat ata ng players no, nakitang pumasok Sometimes you would see one or two just saying, but everyone had their eyes on the ball. And Coach Tai all smiles. happy lang as always. Yeah, clearly in.
Clearly, and even before the line, sobrang bilis ng bola. Nagulat na lang din siguro yung line judge natin.
I don't blame him. It's really fast-paced dito sa Spiker's turf. Nine-point lead. Lumolobo na ang lamang ng Chris Cross.
Tight set.
Ibanez had to alter his shot there. And the block works for UST. Maybe they could start with defense and start to build from there.
They've been inconsistent in the other skill set categories, but when it comes to the blocking, nandun pa rin. Nakakuha pa rin sila ng puntos from that aspect of their game.
Pinabawi si Riquenton. Oh, Sally just couldn't control it properly.
Chris Cross is now halfway through the set. Now with a 9-point lead.
Change in liberos here. Legaspi will replace Alabar. Did not see action in the previous game. Getting some burn here. Makam read perfectly. Popoy Colinares says, stuck to the hand.
Total rejection once again from the King Crunchers.
That was actually Villados, I believe. Sampu ang lamang. Bit of hang time there for Sally. Scores off the block.
That's the only thing working in their advantage, yung mga hit-outs nila, because when they try to go over the block or when they try to challenge sharper angles, hindi nila natatansya yung court ng Chris Cross.
And then may onting bitin si Colinares. Getting the point for Chris Cross.
It's back to a 10-point lead.
Dux chooses Valera. Nice dig by Pepito. Kept alive. And Riquenton. Down it goes for Jaron. And an 11-point lead. We go to the second technical timeout.
My top 5 is Kuya Mark, Espejo, kasi syempre kilala naman natin si Kuya Mark. Magdi-deliver at magdi-deliver talaga siya. Next is si Kuya Jude. Makikita mo talaga yung mga power hits niya. Next is si Benny Ceballos. Kasi sobrang nakaka-amaze yung mga highlights niya. Next, si Josh Ibanez. Kasi gusto ko yung hype niya sa loob ng court and the way siya maglaro. And last, Kuya Brian Bagunas.
Yun ang Gimme 5 ni Jaron Requinton. Ikaw, Neil, sino bang Gimme 5 mo?
Of all time.
Of all time. Ibang conversation niya.
Huwag na lang, baka di na nila kilala.
Yun nga yung maganda eh, history lesson. Block by Preliminaries.
Of course, he wants to get a big win against his former collegiate team.
Pakitang gilas. So, I wonder what Coach Oji Mamon is thinking na. Well, I taught him well. Against his team though, and this time Sally breaks the block.
Still the same go-to angle for Sally. Just keeps on targeting the left hand of Jaron Requinton to get it out of bounds.
Villados goes back to Preliminaries.
Lightning fast, quick attack there from Popoy Preliminaries.
Back to a dozen. Requinton continues to serve. Yambao to Maka. Able to score a point for UST. Still a mountain to climb here.
It's probably one of his cleanest hits in this match. Getting past the wall of CRISS.
Captain. Ball slowed down, but Makam was just late to it.
The ball was high enough actually
Yeah.
for them to be able to recycle that ball in transition to offense.
And you wonder if he's overthinking na rin at the back, diba? Because of him being targeted at the service line earlier. Valera gets the first ball in the attack, but picked up. Good effort for Villados. Yambao goes back to Trevor. Still nothing. How about Garcia? It's out.
Too much angle for Jude Garcia. Wanted to go cross. Hernandez will try to redeem himself.
Replacing Trevor Valera. Hernandez earlier was put in the tail end of that first set. Committed an error, so let's see. Better serve this time. Villados back sets to Jude. Easily saved. Right place for Daxiambao. Ibanez will get a second try. Josh, this time it works.
Yun yung hinihintay ni Josh Ibanez. He would go for an intentional soft rebound dun sa blockers ng CRISS, re-recycle ng teammates niya. And then that transition sila to a better offense pattern.
10-point lead, but Hernandez again committing a service error. 5 points away are the King Crunchers from getting a 2-set lead. Garcia does the same. UST finally reaching the double-digit mark.
UST-GAMEVILLE just needs to gain some kind of momentum, I
Yeah.
guess, to get their flow back. Yun yung pinaka-importante, na maganda yung connection dun sa 3 touches na nakuha nyo.
Yeah.
Just right now, it's all CRISS.
Game doesn't end in 2 sets, so just to pick up some momentum heading into third. Yambao gets a point off of that attack.
That was pre-planned already. Katinsag pushed that ball close to the net para makapalo si Doc Yambao.
Back-to-back points for UST-Gameville. Villados goes back to Saura at the middle. This time it's stopped. Ibanez. Requinton was right there. Captain. Ibanez again with a save. Josh will attack the tip. Doesn't work. Oh, Captain just ending that rally.
Great defensive sequence from both ends of the court. Ultimately, it was Noel Campton who put an end to that long rally. Just the right amount of spin and power to get it through the seam of the blockers of UST-Gameville.
Campton now serving. Ibanez. Red. Binalik kay Josh. Goes down the line and it drops.
He's trying his best. He is getting checked by the blockers of CRISS. Every time he goes up for that attack, it's always at 100%. Walang half-hearted shots from Josh Ibanez. He's just trying to pass on that energy to his teammates.
Yeah. Oh, but comes up short on his serve.
Substitution for Coach Ty Bundit. Nicole Mendras will serve for Francis Saura. And G-Boy De Vega will also check in for the very first time to give Josh Ibanez a well-deserved rest.
Almendra serving 22-12. Sally breaks it.
Another block breaker from Sally.
Quick stint for Almendras. Hernandez also will go back to the bench. Valera is back. And it's Katinsag serving. UST-Gameville down by 9. Missed received by Campton. And that led to the error of CRISS.
Yes, he's getting some good points here. Still down by 8.
Biggest lead, I think, was at 12. Garcia.
Garcia is the only player in double digits right now for CRISS. That's a total of 12 markers. On the other hand, we have Josh Ibanez with 6 points and Sally with 9.
The service error for Villados gives another free point to UST-Gameville. 15-23. And an ace delivered by Doc Yambao.
Target is the same. They have been targeting Jaron Requinton on the serve.
Garcia again. And there was also a net violation in the process. CRISS is now at set point.
Point number 13 for Jude Garcia. And now they are at set point.
Chance now for CRISS. Captain Doesn't end it yet. This time they do, courtesy of Popoy Colinares.
Sweet finish for the King Crunchers here in the second set. Now they're up 2 sets to love against the UST-GAMEVILLE Golden Spikers.
The final point coming from Colinares, and CRISS up 2 sets to none.
Alam ko lang chorus nito eh, pero hindi ko... Gabriela? Gabriela? Yes, tama. Hands up, Gabriela. Gabriela, hands up, Gabriela. La, la, la. You know you love me, I know you care. Just shout whenever, and I'll be there. Baby by Justin Bieber. When I was like, baby, 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 oh, like baby, 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 no, like baby, baby.
You're still watching the 2025 Spiker Surf Invitational Conference on Pilipinas Live. This is the match between CRISS and the UST-GAMEVILLE Golden Spikers. CRISS is now up 2-0 against the Golden Spikers as they continue to dominate the skill set scoring categories. UST had issues in attacking this time in the second set. They really tried to get past the wall of the King Crunchers, but it was just too much for them to handle. Ball control issues were still there. Even Josh Ibanez was rejected a couple of times, and he was limited to a few points in set number 2. Wala pa siya sa double digits, and nakakapanibago yan, especially as he scored 24 big points against the Signal Super Spikers. UST still committed more unforced errors, so it was a relatively easy set, I would say, for the King Crunchers.
We'll see how UST will respond in the third set. I'm sure Coach Oji Mamon. Right now, we see him talking to Josh Ibanez. Doing a one-on-one at the sidelines. But CRISS, they are 1 set away from improving their record to 6 wins and no losses. By the way, the 2025 NBA Emirates Cup is here on Signal. Watch the action this November to December on NBA TV Philippines and Pilipinas Live. So all the action and other sports you can catch on the Pilipinas Live app. NBA Emirates Cup, yeah, the SEA Games coming up as well in December. You still have the PVL ongoing. Now in the second round of eliminations there. UAAP basketball as well, the high school volleyball, football, everything you can find on the Pilipinas Live app. At the moment, UST-GAMEVILLE Golden Spikers are hoping to extend the match against the tough Crisscross King Crunchers.
There's a slight change in the starting unit of the Golden Spikers. Legazpi will start out as their libero, and Delicana will be there to play as an outside hitter. Josh Ibanez will come off the bench. And for Crisscross, they will be using Manuel Sumanguid as their starting libero.
Yeah. Of course, Delicana, we last saw him play for FEU back in the UAAP a couple of seasons ago. I think Coach Oji also said that he's not yet eligible for this season of the UAAP, but already getting a run with his team here in the Spikers turf.
But this is going to be a scary team in the UAAP. Of course, NU will also be a front runner.
Yeah, of course.
Majority of the players in the starting six are part of that Alas Pilipinas pool. You also have FEU.
Yun yung exciting Daniel as Sally commits or comes up short on that to the defense of Crisscross at the net. Exciting to see these players go back in their collegiate teams after that incredible international stint and the learnings that they got from that experience. Pinabawi. Sumang was right there for the pickup. Back row from Captain.
Three-point blitz immediately from the King Crunchers. Ganito rin nagsimula yung set number 2. So for UST-GAMEVILLE, importante yung quick recovery. Every time you need a break point, you need a side out, an immediate side out. But they've been having reception problems all throughout this match.
Kept alive though by the yellow shirts. Second try for Crisscross. Doesn't get it. Picked up by Villados. Sumanguid will set up Riquinton. Saved by UST on that. That was Legazpi. Preliminaries just puts it away.
Just leaving all the defenders there. Wow, what a set from Villados. Daming single blocks ang naibibigay sa attackers. That's why he remains to be the main setter of the King Crunchers.
4-0 blast to start. Finally a point for the Golden Spikers. Delicana will get that. Oh!
He did step on the line. I think that is the right call from the first referee. But UST-GAMEVILLE will be challenging that call. It's a football challenge.
So did Andre Delicana step on the line? That is the question. If this is unsuccessful, it'll be a 5-0 start for Crisscross. They led by as many as 12 in set 2. Oh yeah, clearly. He did step on the line. That is an attack line fault for Delicana. That won't count. It will instead go to the King Crunchers. They lose one challenge as well. And Villados continues to serve. 11 excellent sets for him in the match. Good play there by Riquinton. Fireball unleashed by JJ Macam.
That will be the first point of UST-GAMEVILLE in this third set. It is a must-win set for them. They want to control their fate.
Correct.
By getting a win against Crisscross. But they need to pull out that reverse sweep.
But in case they don't, they will watch the next game between Navy and Alpha Insurance and hope that Navy comes away with the victory there, looking for their first W of the tournament. That is out. If Alpha Insurance loses later, our semifinals cast will be complete. And an ace delivered by Jan Quinton.
Chris Cross has been consistent in the serving department from the first set to the third. Tallied a lot of aces already against the receivers of UST. Hindi pa natin nabibilang yung mga shank passes from the Golden Spikers.
Yambao sets up the play. Saved by Villados. Campton goes up. Blocked. USC down by 4. Garcia just flies.
Those are two tall blockers from UST, but he was still able to hit it above that double block.
We go to the first technical timeout.
You're still tuned in to the Spikers Turf 2025 Invitational Conference live here at the Paco Arena. So this third set can make or break their goal to win today, but the hope is still alive for the UST-GAMEVILLE Spikers. Coach Oji told me earlier that his reminder for his team is to always remember their Ds. Sabi niya kahit anong D pa yan sa mga players, basta para sa kanya, ang D na gusto niyang maalala nila ay discipline, diligence, and determination. This is his core values for the team, and he will never get tired of reminding them. But aside from this, he said that he also wishes for his team to lessen their errors today. So let's see how the Spikers will incorporate these reminders in this set. But for now, back to the panel.
Thank you, Ella. We'll go back to those Ds later on. But first, the first ever FIFA Futsal Women's World Cup is happening from November 21 to December 7 at the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City. Visit fifa.com/tickets for more details. Or you can watch it live via Pilipinas Live app, One Sports Plus, and RPTV. Going back to the report of Ella, importante yung mga sinabi ni Coach Oji Mama, no? So, easy to remember because letter Ds. Ano ba yung mga Ds na yan? Dip ata eh, pwede ba yan?
But he's just looking for discipline talaga sa players niya because he knows that they can snatch a set or even win this match. But hindi nila magagawa yun if they would be helping Chris Cross by giving them 3 points.
Yeah, they have to remember how they performed in that match against the Signal Super Spikers just 2 days ago. But they are only down by 3 points here in the third set. Saura has been efficient at the middle.
Surprisingly, that's only his 3rd point. Parang feel ko nakarami na si Francis in the first 2 sets.
Yambao sets up the play. Somebody clipped the net. It was Villados who will take accountability. Garcia on the right back.
Timing is just different when you're blocking Jude Garcia. he has this hang time in the air. So hindi ka pwedeng mauna, hindi ka rin pwedeng malate. You need to find that sweet spot to at least get a touch on his hits.
Saktong timing talaga dapat. Saura commits a service error. Again, it is a 3-point game. Important here for UST to just stay within distance. Wag maiwan. Like what happened in set number 2. Jude trying to go down the line, but it was wide.
This time there was just too much line. Compared to the first 2 sets, ito siguro yung pinaka malapit na start for UST Gameville. Just down by 2. Josh Ibanez still there sa bench nila, waiting for his number to be called.
That was a block. Not much Riquenton could do. He had to use his offhand. And the Ambao just denying that one. Jaron. Ooh. UST just couldn't send that over.
These are the small boils na pinapoint out ni Coach Oji Maman. We already got that first touch. Naiangat na ng kakampiyon nyo. You have to be able to set that ball up.
It's happened a number of times also for UST. Mga nakakapanghinayang na points. Could have been points. Off the block and out. Just like that, the lead is down to 1.
This is the JJ Macam that we know. Again, the season 87 Rookie of the Year. Coming off an 18-point performance.
Jude. Triple block. Able to slow the ball down. And Sally gets that one to tie it up at 12.
That is also his 12th point of the match.
Yambao serving still. It's a dig coming from Ducks. But it was still on the side of UST. Sally just wasn't able to recognize that. Mahirap din yun kasi taas na pinanggalingan ng bola.
Chris Cross will hold on to a 1-point lead.
To the middle they go. Trevor Valera. 13 all.
Offense is starting to click for UST Gameville. That is good news for Coach Oji Mamon. You get to activate the middles. Dumadali yung buhay ng wings.
Almendras will see action once more. Papalitan niya si Riquenton. JJ Macam serving. Pepito able to get to it. Garcia. How do you stop that?
Every time we look at the replay, you can clearly see kung paano nakadungaw na si Jude Garcia sa ibabaw ng net. 17 points for him now.
There was a whistle called.
It's a floor touch challenge on the Tico Almendras.
Yeah, it looked good though. And I think also the first referee realizing after. Trying to see their reactions here, but Nonetheless, the challenge was called for a floor touch on the Almendra save. Lumapag ba yung bola? Or was it kept alive by Nico Almendras? The score is 14-all in set number 3. So far, Crisscross up 2-0. Yeah, looked good. No floor touch. So a successful challenge for the King Crunchers. Point will be replayed. So official score is 14-13. Nakalusot yung atake ni Delicana. And that officially ties the game up at 14.
With Delicana now in the starting unit of UST Gameville, mas matangkad na ngayon yung frontline nila. Katinsag, Sally, and Delicana.
Captain.
That violation will be called on Sally. It's another nip and tuck affair here.
Right.
But for Crisscross, you just need 10 points to end this in 3 sets.
Garcia will have to work from the back. He will serve now for the King Crunchers. $17 points for Jude Garcia. Commits a service error. And we will see the entry of Sherwin Umandal for the first time. And Avila is back as a setter for UST. Crisscross trying to encourage their teammates, but an ace delivered by Joshua Avila. Timely substitution as we go to the second technical timeout. Back inside the Paco Arena in Manila for the 2025 Spikers Turf Invitational Conference. UST Gameville Golden Spikers are now up by 1 after that ace of Avila. But coming from the technical timeout, gets the service error. Another deadlock here. They set up Umandal. Naibalik. Legaspi was there for the coverage. It is out for Delicana. And a point for Crisscross.
After that service ace from Avila, it's now back-to-back unforced errors for UST Gameville. Coach Oji Mamon has been pointing that out from the first set. They have to be able to take care of these points. It's a better pass from Makam.
Oh, Umandal gets right one back.
I always love watching Southpaws. Kasi iba silang mag-isip din. Yes, the angles are the same, but it's very difficult to read. It's a luxury to have Sally and Umandal share the same position for Coach Oji.
The lefties of UST. Ibanez is now in the game and he gets an ace.
Instant point off the bench will give them a 1-point lead in this crucial stage of set number 3.
The time on the bench allowed them to breathe, recover, and reflect on the game. They're now up by 1. Garcia!
I don't even know what to say anymore. It's just a normal day in the office for Jude Garcia. Scoring from the back row, targeting the same zone over and over again. And kahit alam ng UST Gameville na dun pupunta yung bola, hindi pa rin maiangat yung bola. Ganun kabilis at kalakas yung palo ni Jude Garcia. Now Francis Saura scores an ace for the King Crunchers.
And the lead now for Chris Cross, 19-18. Avila goes to Ibanez, easily picked up. Almendras, covered by Garcia. Jude, binigyan ng bola. Josh will set up the play for Umandal.
Popoy Colinares coming up big with the assist block. That's the advantage of having Popoy Colinares. He knows the tendencies of the hitters of UST Gameville.
Yeah. Net at the net. Timeout, UST.
Sila ni ano. Alam ka, magkaroon ka confidence sa pumasa, ha? Sunod ka lang. Yun lang yung area mo, maliit lang. Parang 1.5 meters lang yung lapad mo. Hayaan mo yung kanila sa kanilang dalawa. Uy! Wala 2 points.
Timeout called by Coach Oji Mamon. His team down by a couple of points. Needing to win this set to extend the match. Saura back to serve. And JJ Macam with that blockbuster.
Point number 8 for JJ Macam. It has been a low-scoring game for JJ Macam and Josh Ibanez, but they can still snatch this set from Chris Cross, just down by 1. And Avila has 3 attackers up front.
Oh, kinapos si Jude, and we are now tied at 20.
We didn't expect that kind of attack from Jude Garcia. He has been going to powerful hits, targeting zone 5, but last second he wanted to go for a top spin shot lang, pero nabitin.
Yeah, Colinares gets the lead. Once again for Chris Cross.
He was already agile during his days in UST, but ngayon parang bumilis si Popoy Colinares under Coach Ty.
Leveling up his play. Villados serving full front line for Chris Cross. Umandal using his offhand. Sumang with the cover. Garcia. Sherwin with a save. Oh, dangerous there for Valera and Macam. Luckily, no one got hurt.
Coach Oji is clearly unhappy with that last sequence from UST Gameville. They had an opportunity to maximize the second touch because Macam was available on the left side.
And I think that was Macam's area as well.
Don't be a hero. Play as a team. Role play ka na teammate ka. There's a person who is better suited to take that ball.
Pressure game lang.
Oh, 22-20. Tatlo attacker natin, pasahan nyo lang, please. Kaya mawawala yung coverage. Kasama sa laro na nabablock, pero may coverage tayo. Kayo naman, 6 na braso nakaharang sa inyo. Be smart. Pa-check, recycle, tip sa setter. Hindi lang option na stroke lang.
You have to stick to your roles and trust your teammates. Yan ang mensahe ni Coach OG Mamon. Because JJ Macam had a clearer view
Correct.
dun sa bola na yon.
Could have, if that were a point, it would have been a tied game at 21. Avila. Macam. Ball slowed down. Sumang with a setup to Garcia, who puts it away. 3-point lead for the King Crunchers.
Easy choice for Manuel Sumanggit. You have your best attacker in Jude Garcia on the right side. And you are looking to close UST Gameville out in 3 sets. Now they're at warning point.
Umandal! Down it goes for Sherwin.
Quality minutes for Sherwin Umandal, scoring 2 points for Coach OG Mamon. 2 fireballs actually from Sherwin Umandal.
Who only saw action dito sa set 3. By the way, hindi siya pinasok in the first 2 sets. Yung bow serving. Villados goes middle. And Popoy Colinares puts CRISS at match point.
It's always a gamble from UST Gameville to put up 1 blocker against Popoy Colinares. Wala tayong masyadong nakita na double blocks for the middle blockers of CRISS. But I guess that's part of the game plan na may isusugal ka talaga because nandyan pa si Jude Garcia and si Noel Campton.
3 match points. Could this be it? Campton will set up Garcia. Not just yet. Sumanggid to Campton. Yes! And that ends the match. CRISS taking it in straight sets. And stay undefeated. Getting their 6th straight win of the Invitational Conference.
Wow, CRISS just put a stop to the UST Gameville train. Everybody was anticipating a 5-set match between these 2 teams, but CRISS came up big, just preventing UST from snatching a set in this match.
Yeah, we'll talk more about this game, wrap it up when we come back. Both teams at center court exchanging their greetings there. We'll talk more about this when we come back after the break.
Welcome back. You're still watching the 2025 Invitational Conference here at Paco Arena. At kasama natin ngayon ang player of the game for this match, Jude Garcia. Once again, congratulations for winning. Of course, si Jude ay may 19 points, 15 attacks, 2 blocks, and 2 ace. Grabe, you showed up and you delivered for your team. And fun fact, everyone, sabi ni Jude sa akin kanina, every game, nagdadalawang kape siya. So, aside from the 2 coffees that you drank earlier, ano po sa tingin mo yung nagpapanalo sa inyo in this match?
Ano lang siguro, yung teamwork namin, tapos yung, kumbaga, kung ano yung training talaga namin in the past few months talaga, kung ano yung training namin sa Thailand, talagang ginagawa namin siya sa loob ng court, sa game. So yun, nagbubuka naman lahat ng ng pinag-insayohan namin sa training camp.
Tama, the discipline paid off, the hard work paid off indeed for your team. And of course, I want to ask you as well, what are the things that you learned from this game na dadalhin mo sa susunod yung laro?
Ayun nga, sabi ko sa iyo kanina, unang interview sa akin na huwag maging complacent sa kung anong meron kami ngayon, kung anong standing namin. Kasi every team kayang lumaban. So kailangan talagang seryosohin and then maging yung doblehin pa yung focus namin sa bawat laro.
Yes, and there you have it from our player of the game. Baka may gusto kang batiin, any messages to your supporters?
Binabati ko yung asawa ko yun nandito. And yung management po namin na laging sumusuporta na sa amin. And then sa Criss King Crunchers fans na laging andyan para supportahan kami kahit bumabagyo na. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jude. Once
Thank
again,
you po.
our player of the game. Back to you, Deep and Neil.
Thank you, Ella. There you have it. Jude Garcia, player of the game. Alam na natin yung sekreto kung ba't ganun siya kataas lumipad. Dalawang kape pala.
Wow.
Dalawang...
Kaya wala hyper.
But let's see the highlights in set number 3. It was a close one, Neil. UST actually put CRISS to the test, threatened at one point to extend the match. They got the lead in set 3, but then King Crunchers just stayed cool, stayed calm, and then won this in straight sets.
The Golden Spikers just couldn't put a stop to the output of Jude Garcia. Lumayo na sila in terms of attacking 14 compared to the 9 of UST-GAMEVILLE. And let's also add the fact that Popoy Colinares had a great game as well.
Yeah.
Meron lang tayong co-POG. Of course, we would be giving it to former UST standout. He chipped in 10 points, but the efficiency was on a different level. So congratulations to the CRISS King Crunchers for winning their 6th straight game of the season.
And because of that win of CRISS, wala pa tayong complete cast in our semifinals for our tournament. We will have to wait for this one. Alpha Insurance Protectors will hope to fight and win to survive in our tournament as they go up against the Navy Sea Lions, who are looking for their first win of the tournament. That does it for now. We have 2 matches down, 2 more to go here at the Paco Arena in Manila City. So if you have time, do join us. And sunod kayo dito sa Paco Arena. And CRISS again taking this one in straight sets on behalf of Ella Regudo, my partner Neil Flores. My name is Tito Piacova saying thank you for watching the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference, where power meets passion.